Yes, plenty to look forward to tonight, and certainly that meeting of Tip and Limerick, one of the most eagerly awaited games in the Championship so far. Well, both counties, of course, were involved in the height of the drama in the Munster Championship last year, and for Tip, well, it all had a successful conclusion. After the nail-biting draw in Thurles, it all came right in the replay for Tipperary. Nicholas English scored a spectacular goal. And Donny O'Connell put the icing on the cake in extra time, to the delight of the fans. But Tip lost the All-Ireland semi-final to Galway, but they were back in form in the league. English scoring this goal in the final against Offaly. Last year was dramatic for Limerick too. They looked to have Cork beaten in the semi-final at Thurles, with Shane Fitzgibbon scoring this marvellous goal. But there was a last-minute equaliser from Kieran Kingston. And there was the controversy of who threw the billiard ball and at whom it was thrown. Well, it was all a lot more straightforward in the replay. Limerick just couldn't match stuff like this. John Fenton's classic goal. Yes, indeed, that was all last summer, but 12 months later, Tip are the favourites once again for the Munster title. Eamon Cregan, on the other hand, well, under pressure to satisfy the Limerick fans and to inspire a shock today. Well, we'll be seeing in a moment if he succeeded. We'll also be talking to our hurling expert on the programme, Donal O'Grady. He was absorbed in today's game. We'll be hearing his analysis a little bit later on in the programme and also his man of the match selection. But first, though, let's get right down to the action itself at Pairc this afternoon, where our big game commentator was Ger Canning.
On the Sunday game tonight, we have one of the most sought-after matches of the year from the Munster Hurling Championship. Champions Tipperary bidding to hold on to their title, minus Nicky English at the first attempt against Limerick. Having played in all of Tip's fixtures since his debut as a wing forward last November here at Pairc, 20-year-old Declan Ryan is today handed the troublesome full forward berth in place of the injured Nicky English. English's loss is immense, as the Munster champions also field without John Heffernan and Seamus Gibson from their full back line. Paul Delaney plays at corner back, Richie Stakelham returns to wing back, while 18-year-old John Leahy takes Ryan's right wing position. Declan Ryan's marker is the formidable Leonard Enright, who missed Limerick's opening Munster Championship game. And back from the start this week is Pat McCarthy, the county's trenchant full forward. So without injury worries, the Shannonsiders have selected a team containing 4 Munster medal winners, plus 4 members of last year's triumphant under-21 squad. Versatile Pairc is now at left half-back, while Maurice Nelligan is the one who steps down from the forwards to facilitate the return of Pat McCarthy. The disappointment on the face of Nicky English evident. Willie Horgan from the Brian Dillon's club in Cork is the match referee, his 3rd Munster Championship match, and these great rivals meeting for the first time in 7 years in the Championship. Declan Ryan from outside the 45-metre line, the first wide after just 10 seconds play. Perfect day for good hurling, good conditions, and a crowd probably around 30,000. Tommy Quaid, the Limerick goalkeeper. Limerick playing left to right in the first half, anxious for a good start. They have the aid of a slight breeze as that's knocked away by John Kennedy. Ollie O'Connor letting it there for Ger Haggerty, turning towards his left-hand side. The chip in intended for Pat McCarthy, getting there too is Gussie Ryan. Out comes Paul Delaney, the left corner back. Good shoulder by Gussie Ryan. But the very effective centre-half back, John Kennedy, once again seems to have time to swing that stick carefully. O'Neill, hesitant, was fouled in any case by Ray Sampson. Sampson, the player who committed the foul that time, free to Tip. Well, it might be a bit ambitious for even Paul Delaney, renowned as a lengthy striker of the ball. Perhaps he'll make a liar of me. It drops into the square. O'Neill, and he's closed down quickly by Leonard Enright. Very good play by Enright. It went off the Tipperary man, and that's going to be a puck out. Just coming up to 7 minutes gone. 1 point to show for the opening 7 minutes, that from a free. There's Gary Kirby for Limerick towards Ollie O'Connor, who switched wings. Joe Hayes here. Half hoop, managed to get it forward towards Donny O'Connell. Finn overcommitted himself. O'Neill shows skill, class, and finishing. Tip up 2 points. O'Neill, who'll always remember the memorable league final when he scored 2 goals and a point, has got 1 this afternoon. I'd say Babs and the rest in the dugout are quite pleased with the opening minutes. Bonner, great determination. Tip-up started at a furious pace. Can they maintain it? They're hoping to take Limerick to the cleaners as Aidan Ryan advances and scores. They've got 3 points. The flags are high, the confidence is high also, and that was a fine individual score. Conor O'Donovan over there with Gussie Ryan. Linked up beautifully with Richie Stakelum. Cut out by Jimmy Carroll, that's a tip ball. Richie Stakelum will regard his selection today as a piece of good fortune. It's up to him, of course, now to stay in the team. Such is the strength that Tipperary have at their disposal. And that was a very high challenge by Colin Bonner, and the referee quite correctly warning him against it. Limerick needing a score after 12 minutes as Brian Finn takes the free from way out the field, and he's got the opening score from inside his own 65-metre line. The free taken by Brian Finn has been converted, and Limerick have a little bit of hope. Pairc hasn't really established dominance over there so far. Meanwhile, Declan Ryan linking up inside with Fox. Looking for support. Desperation stakes for the Limerick defence, and that's brilliantly converted by Fox. The defence was at 6s and 7s, almost caved to grief a moment or two earlier and could have conceded a goal, but Fox finally got himself a score. Stakelum against Kirby, a clean catch. It's the first good one he's had. Chance of a second Limerick score. Oh, and he's pushed it away wide. Quite annoyed with himself, the young under-21. Bonner getting the better of Jimmy Carroll. That's to Leahy. Stopped by Pairc. Donny O'Connell on the ground. Cut out here by Joe O'Connor. In trouble, however. Good recovery by Joe O'Connor. Made his debut against Kerry. That's good skillful play. Jimmy Carroll well blocked down. There's some battle in midfield at the moment. Hagerty to Jimmy Carroll. They're playing it short and tight. Into the open space now towards Shane Fitzgibbon. Trying to round Paul Delaney. Little onto his best side. Good shoulder by Bobby Ryan, closes down the space, and the interception by John Kennedy, and the fine clearance out over the sideline. But you can see once again how this man here is always available to rescue Tipperary when most needed. Lovely cut towards Pat McCarthy. Good block down by Sheehy. Out to Ollie O'Connor, and Limerick have got themselves a second point. Both their points coming from play. Ollie O'Connor's first, 4 points to 2. And just watching that in reprise again, Pat McCarthy had that shot brilliantly blocked down, came out to Ollie O'Connor. Watch the number 10, waiting for possession to come loose to him from Pat McCarthy's persistence. No delay, and over the bar. John Leahy back with play. O'Neill. Interesting, of course, now that John Leahy, now Pa O'Neill on the half-forward line today were involved in last year's campaign. That's tantalisingly inside towards Fox. Towards Declan Ryan. Leonard Enright there too, along with Joe O'Connor. Fox again, who carries most of the threat in the full-forward division today, in the absence of Nicky English. Good vision, finding Leahy, hooked by Jimmy Carroll. Look at the backup support coming from Hayes, and they have a point. Such much as the team's understanding that there's always somebody there, always ready to pick up the half chance and snap it over the bar. O'Neill. Here's Aidan Ryan, doubling on it delightfully, again aimed towards Pat Fox. Joe O'Connor is going to be busy, but he does well, the youngster. Out to Colin Bonner from the middle of the field. That's marvellous striking accuracy. There's been so much to admire about the Tipperary performance in the opening 16 minutes. No wonder the fans are happy. All of Tommy Quaid's puck outs are landing at that half-back line, and with Bonner going back to augment the half, it's meant total possession for Tip. Able to set up chances here for Donny O'Connell, who will once again try to link up with his corner forward Pat Fox. Fox tormenting the cornerback. Aidan Ryan, the left corner forward, look where he's playing, out around the 40. Inside towards Pa O'Neill. Outside he's got Fox once again, that's where the move all started. Great backup support by Tipperary. Declan Ryan not playing as an ordinary full forward right in front of goal. To Aidan Ryan. Well, stalemate over there. Joe O'Connor hooped. Comes to Pat O'Neill, and he says that's enough of the dithering. This fellow has a really good finish from the county champions cap of white. He's also the team captain. His second point. Gary Kirby reached magnificently. Second great catch by Gary Kirby. Inside towards Ollie O'Connor. Stopped by Bobby Ryan. Pat McCarthy. And the follow-up was expert. And McCarthy has got his name on the score sheet. It's now 8 points to 4, so Tipperary leading by double scores. Ger Hagerty down to Ollie O'Connor. Limerick showing greater commitment now and a bit more confidence. John Kennedy once again standing almost ice cool, whipping it away to the far side to Leahy. Rounding Park Carey, and Leahy has shown some great skill. Nice pass inside to Donny O'Connell. Can he round Joe O'Connor? O'Connor is doggedly hanging on in there. That's whipped out by Jimmy Carroll to the middle of the field to Colin Bonner. The shot from way out the field tails away to the left. It's been a game of end-to-end hurling and some marvellous championship entertainment. Oh, what a player to have in your reserves. Nicky English there in the background. It's taken by Gary Kirby, making a real impression at half forward. In towards Pat McCarthy. Missed all the league season, but he showed too much of that to another Limerick man playing for Tipperary, Conor O'Donovan. That's a nice catch by John Leahy, now beginning really to show his class and show his skill. Declan Ryan giving Enright in a very, very uneasy afternoon. Lovely skill. Well, we saw the two youngsters combine. The lad who's straight out of minor and this guy who's out of minor a season. Declan Ryan getting a fine score. That will please the coach, Babs Keating, no end. 23 minutes gone in the first half. John Kennedy out towards John Leahy. That's Pa Kramer. Kramer has now gone back towards the half-back line. This is Shane Fitzgibbon. He's been virtually anonymous so far. Look at the number of tip shirts waiting in there. Driven out by Paul Delaney. And again, the midfielders are always expecting the ball to come their way. Joe Hayes on this occasion. Two tip men there. Aidan Ryan, the one who gets there first. Into space towards Pat Fox. Joe O'Connor. I think they're testing his inexperience. Donny O'Connell. Pa O'Neill hooked. But look at the backup again. And again there's a loose man outside. This is magnificent forward play. Leahy has put it wide. Well, what a score would have been following all those passes. Eamon Cregan there behind the goal, behind Tommy Quaid's goal, and this is really his big test. Put off the legs of John Kennedy to Jimmy Carroll, buzzing around in midfield still, punch forward by Ollie O'Connor. I'd be asking a bit much of Liam O'Donoghue to win that race with Paul Delaney, but he does well. Remember, he played as a half forward in the 1973 All-Ireland final. Back to Gary Kirby, making an angle for himself, pushing it on the left-hand side, and over the bar it goes. Gary Kirby has now scored 2 of those Limerick points. Referee blows the whistle for half-time, and at half-time Tipperary looking the better side, going leading by 4 points. It's Tipperary 9 points, Limerick 5. Marvellously entertaining game in patches. Certainly the Tip fans have enjoyed it, and we look forward to the second half. So 35 minutes to go, and Tip just those 4 points ahead, but well ahead on points, as it were, if it were boxing. And there's a replacement in the Tipperary forward line where Ger O'Neill from Kappa White has come in place of John Leahy, and he's gone straight into the forward line. Tommy Quaid then, and indeed the entire Limerick following, hoping that their team can lift their performance, just like they did in the last 10 minutes of the first half. What a goal would do for their confidence. Gary Kirby from that pass from Ger Hegarty. The shot saved easily by Ken Hogan. Great positioning by Ken Hogan nonetheless. Jimmy Carroll to midfield, waited, wondered. Richie Stakelum. They're putting a bit more pressure on Richie Stakelum's wing at the start of the second half. That's Shane Fitzgibbon smartly across to Liam O'Donoghue. Comes off Paul Delaney. Good recovery save. It's a 65. This fellow has made quite an impression. Liam O'Donoghue engineered 1 point, and now he's engineered a 65. And listen to the Limerick followers. Brian Finn has already scored 1 point from a long-range free. This would cut back the leeway to just 3 points. That's exactly the position, just a goal in it. And now it's the turn of the Limerick followers to raise the flags in triumph. So much speculation before this game that Limerick might indeed down Tipperary's colours. But Tip looked so assured in the first half, yet couldn't show that on the scoreboard. Thirsty business being a coach. Once again, good, resolute play. Fox. The defence have come out quickly, leaving the goalkeeper Tommy Quaid somewhat exposed, but he's an old hand at that. Ollie O'Connor trying to chip it forward for Ger Hegarty, now operating with a bit more confidence and determination. Look at this for a mazy solo run by Ger Hegarty. Went around John Kennedy, being a little bit too ambitious, and the Tipperary fella says, well, what's happening here? They regroup quickly. Snatch defence into attack. Pat Fox blotted down by Brian Finn, playing his heart out at centre half back. Fox a second brought down by Brian Finn. Finn playing remarkably tight. It comes out to Declan Ryan. Again, there's space as the Limerick players in their eagerness tend to overcommit themselves and hunt in packs of 2s and 3s, leaving a tip man free. Bobby Ryan in towards Ger O'Neill. Comes out to Fox. Once again, a good timely challenge by Pairc, putting Fox off his concentration, and it ends up going wide. Frank Murphy there, standing up in the background, the Cork County Board Secretary, and Cork, of course, very interested in the outcome of this match. They play Clare in the other semi-final. That's in 2 weeks' time. Declan Ryan, meanwhile. Well defended by Leonard Enright. It's very hard and determined. No quarter asked and none, absolutely none expected when these two sides meet. Gary Kirby trying to get onto the left-hand side. A good half block down by John Kennedy, taking the sting out of it. Richie Stakelum on the 45-metre line. Donny Barry left it behind. Pa O'Neill steadied. In towards Pat Fox. Tried to connect. Well saved by Tommy Quaid, but he's put it straight out to Ger O'Neill. The goal is exposed. He puts it high and he's put it wide. There was a goal there, I think, had Tipperary been a little bit cooler in their approach. I'm sure some of the fans are saying, what would have happened if English had been in there? It started with this long ball from Pa O'Neill. Inside, watch for the overhead attempted shot by Fox, well stopped by Tommy Quaid. Colin Bonner airbound. Comes down to Pairc operating on his own half-back line despite the number. Bobby Ryan challenged. by Ollie O'Connor, fouled by Ollie O'Connor. So Pairc is the one who's gone off, as Paul Delaney takes this free from his own 65-metre line in towards Pat Fox, if he can catch it, persisting with trying to hold on to that ball. Tony O'Connell there too, referee leaving play continue, out to Declan Ryan it comes, to Joe Hayes as they regroup, and there's the point that they have longed for. Tipperary's first point of the second half has taken 14 minutes to produce, and it's come from the midfielder. Michael Houlihan going for that ball, the Limerick substitute. Pairc towards Ollie O'Connor. 4 points between the teams. In position as we had at half-time. Conor O'Donovan. And Conor O'Donovan steps out over the sideline, a player who played minor hurling for Limerick. Chaoimh Cregan then watches as Gary Kirby links up here with Ray Sampson, who joins the forwards. And he's missed the chance. 16 minutes gone then in the second half. Tremendous tension around Pairc, so much at stake, and Tips certainly unable to draw away from their great opponents Limerick, and Limerick hanging on in there, trying to create the big upset. No goals so far, of course. Here's Brian Finn, who's played well against Donny O'Connell. Sideline ball. So Joe Hayes taking it from his right side this time. Gets it as far as Pa O'Neill, tightly marked. Tip come looking for the opening goal of the game to give them a bit of breathing space. They're content with a point. A very well struck point by Pat Fox. Denied any kind of space, but he doesn't need too much. He's got instinctive pace and great scoring talent. Going into a 5-point lead from Pat Fox's 4th point of the match. Breaks down here to Colin Bonner. Pairc away, and that's going to be a Tipperary line ball. So Bobby Ryan, who played at full forward in last year's campaign, back in his best position in the half-back line, with that marvellous catch by Joe O'Connor. Has to be really impressed by this left corner back. That's a nice catch by Pat McCarthy, but the referee says he was backing back into his opponent. The fans didn't see it that way. John Kennedy just checking with the referee. Tip longing to get a goal, I'm sure, just to put a bit of distance between themselves and Limerick. Kennedy from the halfway line. Good strike and a nice catch by Tommy Quaid. Out to this wing. Ray Sampson trying to keep it in place, succeeds. Colin Bonner is under it, half hooped. Gets it as far as Pairc. Ollie O'Connor waiting for it. Comes back out to Richie Stakelum. Stakelum has given an assured performance. There was a nudge that time, an elbow. Indications now of some frustration from some of the Limerick forwards in particular. Denied the opportunity to shine against the very tight marking Tipperary backline. Aidan Ryan, ooh, that was a dangerous swipe by Ray Sampson, and the referee is quite correctly going to call him across and take the name of Ray Sampson for that foul on Bobby Ryan. Sampson will become the first player to be cautioned in the match. Dangerous swipe, which is quite correctly dealt with by the referee. This is it once again. Keep your eye on the blonde Aidan Ryan, and Sampson going in, pulling awfully hard, quite dangerously. And we've got Michael Reel from Bruff in now. Meanwhile, the free has been taken and slotted over the bar by Fox for his 5th score to increase Tipperary's lead, and they lead again by double scores. 11 minutes remaining. John Kennedy again. Good covering. Always seems to be in the right place at the right time. Inside Joe O'Connor, the left corner back, turned well on his left to link up here with Mike Reel. Half-hit shot, however, easily taken by Colin Bonner, despite the attentions over there of Gary Kirby, but Kirby gets in the more decisive stroke. Aidan Ryan to fish for some action over on that far side. Beaten by Donny Barry, intended to lay back over there, but Michael Houlihan is caught up by Bobby Ryan. Down it goes again to the forwards, down towards Pat Fox, didn't connect at all. Runs through to the goalkeeper Tommy Quaid, showing good ground hurling style. Once again, Tipperary trying to draw out the backs and try to create a little space inside. This is Fox, edge of the large square, and he is uncannily accurate as always. Pat Fox giving a virtuoso performance in the second half. He's got 7 of Tipperary's 14 points. Switches on the Limerick half-forward line. Gary Kirby's now gone right half-forward. Ger Hegarty is centre-forward. Meanwhile, it's Jimmy Carroll, their inspirational midfield player, but unable to make much headway. Gary Kirby once again. Denied pressure by space by John Kennedy. Colin Bonner toughly into the tackle. Here comes Donny Barry outside towards Ray Sampson. Trying to round 2 defenders, but he was fouled as he was doing so by Bobby Ryan. That's a free to Limerick. Limerick with just 8.5 minutes remaining. They've got some 8 points to make up. So surely the tactic here by Gary Kirby will be to chip it in front of the goal. Well, he's driven it high. He's settled for a point. Timed the enemy of Limerick at this stage, however. Eamon Cregan waits as Tipperary introduce yet another substitute. The fans, of course, still waiting for... That's John Leahy who's gone back in. Now, that's unusual. They took him off at half-time, and they've reintroduced him with 5 minutes to go. Ray Sampson waits. McReal for Limerick, looking for a late goal, and they've got themselves a free for that push on Pat McCarthy by Noel Sheehy. Sheehy has kept McCarthy down to just 1 point from play. Gary Kirby, the free taker, 45 minutes out now. Absolutely, definitely going for a goal this time. Liam O'Donoghue tried to latch onto it, but beaten for it by Paul Delaney. Lost the stick in the process, but it's a Limerick line ball. Very tidy player, operating this afternoon in a relatively new role for him, left corner back. He's done well. Gary Kirby. Beautifully cut up, and he's put it over the bar from the sideline. Gary Kirby is Limerick's leading scorer. That's his 4th point. Well, it's all a little bit too late, I'm afraid, for Eamon Cregan's men. With just 5 minutes to go, down towards Declan Ryan. It runs inside towards Pat O'Neill. Well, not Pat O'Neill, Pat Fox, rather. And Joe O'Connor gets himself out of trouble. Tries to recapture possession, but he's been fouled in any case. And the crowd all around Pairc responding to this young man. One of the names of the future, I'm sure, Joe O'Connor. One of the names of the present is Colin Bonner. Tipperary, they've missed a lot of chances in the second half. They've given Limerick a chance, which will cause concern to the Tipperary management. Not playing with the same fire, I think, and determination they showed earlier on. Something to work on. John Kennedy, 14 points to 8 at the moment. It's 15 points to 8. Somehow or other, John Kennedy usually manages to get his name on the score sheet, even for just 1 point. So the amateur whistlers around Pairc, waiting for this man here, Willie Horgan, to blow. He's playing time added on for injuries. Quaid's free. There's the final whistle, and Tipperary have advanced to the Munster final. Utter disappointment for Eamon Cregan and for Limerick, but it's tip for the final. Defending champions Tipperary seeing off their first test, and the dream of a league and championship double lives on for Tipperary followers following this victory in Cork, which finishes Tipperary 15 points, Limerick 8. Pat Fox, how did you adjust to the fact that you didn't have Nicky beside you this afternoon?
It was pretty close. I felt that I got a fair lot of... The boys were marking me fairly tight when he wasn't around, but...
You got away for a couple of good points.
Just in the end, yeah. I missed a good few too, but I was happy with the way we played anyway. Our backs played well. I was very happy the way...
There's obviously room for improvement, something like 13 wides in the second half alone.
Yeah, you see, we had no match before this, you see. Limerick had a match before, and if we had a match like that before to come into this championship game, it would have been a great help. So I think we were a bit, our shooting was off a little, you know, so if we had a match before, it would have helped us a lot.
Finally, if we can turn it back across to Nicky. Nicky, the Munster Championship final now. Tipperary, do you think, will they win it?
Well, I think it's nice to be in it anyway, first of all, and we've 5 or 6 weeks now to get our injured players right, and I think John Heffernan will be back and Seamus Gibson will be back. So there'll be pressure on the fellas that are on the team to hold their places, and you know that this kind of competition will be good. And whoever is in it, I mean, we're there anyway, and we're just waiting for 6 weeks' time.
And will the name of any English be on the programme?
Hopefully, anyway.
If you were Babs at this stage, would you be pleased?
Well, I'm slimmer than Babs, thanks be to God. But if I were Babs, I would be very pleased. They're in a Munster final, second year in succession. I'd be a little bit worried about the fact that they had so many wides. But their overhead play, their ground play, and their covering and moving to the ball is excellent. Now you bring Nicholas English into that, and you have a dynamite force.
Munster champions again?
They have the potential to be Munster champions, yes.
Many would agree that they have indeed. Limerick then, or Tipperary I should say, into the Munster final against either Cork or